All right, recent article just released about a woman making some money selling her breast milk. So, who is she selling to? I really don't care. But the fact that she's making money on breast milk is because people believe that if they take breast milk, that they will have a better immune system, that they'll have more growth factors, more HGH, like human growth hormone, for repair and recovery. Bodybuilders have this idea as well, as if they'll get stronger and have more natural or higher level of IGF-1 and HGH. However, that's not really true for adults. However, for kids, totally true, right? The fascination of breast milk is just crazy. They're always finding something else about how beneficial it is and how it just can change daily, right? So the crazy thing about breast milk is that the saliva from the baby can tell the mom what to make in order to protect the child. Or if the child's getting sick, it knows what to create to help with those lymphocytes or those neutrophils or the immunoglobulins, interleukins, TNF. I mean, it knows what to do. It knows what the baby's deficient in, and it knows how to transport those nutrients and the protectant, like immunosupportive colostrum to that child. So that's kind of the benefit of breast milk for children, and how important it is for mothers to be able to breastfeed their children. Unfortunately, not all women are able to do it, which is sad, but the women that are able to, it's definitely a help. I know that they try to make formulas really close to what like human milk. However, how the body breaks down and digests and assimilates colostrum, and it's a very hard process, and you're not really getting the benefits of it when you're using colostrum coming from a cow or another mammal, and you got to use really high doses. And so if you look on the back of the baby formulas, it's going to be like whey protein isolate. It's going to be the first ingredient, but then they'll have like some sort of colostrum blend in there, usually yielding like an 80% immunoglobulin. So that's what I want to talk about today, is actually colostrum, because you see it in supplement stores, you see it online, you see it saying that it boosts immune system, that it can help with growth hormones. So really, what does it do and how effective is it? Is it even worth the money? And so that's where I'll share my screen and we go on my favorite website, and we go on to examine.com. But however, this is the article about the woman that was selling breast milk. She made over 13,000 selling her breast milk to bodybuilders. Crazy, right? So she went viral on a TikTok video, and she just calls it liquid gold. And yeah, man, people see that and they just start asking for it. Crazy, right? So good job for that woman. Now we'll get rid of that, and we'll go to the examine.com. So examine.com, again, if you have any questions about a supplement, then you can type it into the search bar and it pops it up. So colostrum. And so we will get the definition of it from examine.com. So examine.com says, for those of you listening on the podcast, says colostrum, also known as first milk, is a mammary secretion produced by cows and related animals. The results of supplementation are similar to supplementing whey protein, though colostrum may offer some unique benefits for the immune and digestive systems. Now, this is very important because when we go to buy protein, we usually buy like whey protein concentrates, which is like 80% yield, or we buy whey protein isolate, like a 95% yield, and it has a great amount of amino acid profiles, high amount of leucine, high amount of glutamine, high amount of glutathione, and all those things are beneficial for the immune system and for muscle recovery, for HGH, for IGF-1, all those things, right? But I really want to look at something that's more pertinent toward me, and usually what people buy it for, and they buy it for the reducing inflammation and for boosting the immune system. So for myself, I suffered from eczema pretty bad, and to the point where I was taking Dupixent injections. And so that's Dupixent injections. They help with the interleukin 4 and interleukin 16 conversion, and to try to control immunoglobulins. So you'll usually see like IgB, IgA, and so it's an overactive autoimmune disorder that I have, and so those injections are supposed to suppress it, so it suppresses my immune system because it thinks that my body's like under attack, right? So definitely helps, but the one thing I noticed is that when you come off of it, you actually become dependent upon it, and that could be another video. However, what colostrum is trying to also help with is that same interleukin control as well. And so examine.com, they do bring up some of these studies that they've done, and I'll share my screen again. And they talk about the immunogenesis of the colostrum and the benefits of it for controlling some immune disorders. And it's not so significant because they're using 20 grams of colostrum. Okay, so usually 20 grams to 30 grams of colostrum is usually what all these studies are going to be using, split up twice or 3 times a day or 4 times a day. Now and they would do a comparison versus colostrum 20 grams versus whey protein. They don't really specify what whey protein, whether it be concentrate, whey protein isolate, or whether it be a blend, because that's the secret, is the blend, right? So we'll get into that a little bit later. So the human breast milk, it's a blend. So it has the first milk, but then you also have, which is more like liquidy, but then you have like this thicker consistency, which is going to be the hind milk. So that's really where all the fatty nutrients are going to be. That's where all the magic happens for developing these immune boosters that are going to help with, macrophages and interleukins and neutrophils and lymphocytes, because babies typically they have a lot of exposure to viruses or to outside bacteria, to the new world, and so they're usually going to have a high ratio of lymphocytes to neutrophils. So that's usually showing that there's some sort of like viral infection going on or viral response going on. So they even, so going back to examine.com, they even go up to like 50 grams a day of colostrum. Again, the more stress and the more inflammation a person has, it seems to be that colostrum may help with some things like the gut lining, and also with reducing some immunoglobulin responses. So people that are chronically exercising with stress throughout the day, you might have you might seem like you get sick more often, right? You're more susceptible to getting sick because your body's trying to repair itself. It's trying, you just put that body under a lot of trauma, which is why you have some blood markers always go up, like your liver enzymes. You put your body through trauma when you work out, you go to war, right? And so you're trying to break down that muscle. You're trying to destroy the body enough to where it can rebuild it stronger. So that's really the point of working out. Okay, so you break bones, you tear muscles, you put your body under a lot of stress, cause inflammation, cause increase in prostaglandins, which you want some inflammation. Inflammation's good to repair itself, but when it gets out of control, that's when you have these issues. Okay, so I'm not all bad. Okay, now they even say that there's really no strong supportive evidence that colostrum it does not appear to affect systematic interferon levels with administered orally. So that's a problem. Like I was saying, that it's hard for our body to assimilate and break down and metabolize this colostrum from the gut. There's I'm assuming some of the acidity of the body and some of the bacteria that we have, it may not be as efficient to absorb an efficacious dose of colostrum that would be beneficial to our immune system. for what we're looking for as far as like controlling autoimmune disorders and diseases. So even interleukin, this is what I was very interested in. They use 10 grams of bovine colostrum, again yielding 20% IgG, and daily for 5 weeks in a high intensity athletes, who was noticed to increase basal soluble TNF receptor levels relative to whey protein control, although TNF alpha was unaffected. This may be due to colostrum itself containing a level of TNF FR1, assuming bovine colostrum is similar to human colostrum in this regard. So too much TNF, that can cause some inflammatory response, not only to interleukin cells, it can lead to other like responses in the brain. So like TNF, if you have a high tumor necrosis factor, that can lead to some inflammatory issues within the brain, which may cause even like I would almost say like it would make your body more susceptible to amyloid plaque buildup in a sense. You can cause more things to cross the blood-brain barrier. The same way that your gut, its lining can be very susceptible to pulling toxins in or pulling things out into the body, into the bloodstream. So that would be like a gut permeability issue. So you're trying to strengthen your gut lining, which is going to help you if you are if you're dealing with an autoimmune disorder, because that's what a lot of issues stem from. Is going to be from your gut, from that vagus nerve. And so we're trying to really control that stomach lining. But again, examine.com, it goes into the killer T cells, B cells, neutral killer cells, things to just help control levels of viral infections, bacterial infections, and they use such high doses. It's nothing that's going to be really proving. It's not. I'm not saying it's not going to work for you. If you take it and you notice a benefit, then that's totally great. You might be deficient in something that this is helping you kind of band-aid that. But where the benefits do lie is going to be with the risk of reducing viral infections and lung infections. So that's what is very cool about the colostrum. Now, we'll leave that. What I think is cool is that there is a company, and it is called Glaxon. So we're on this, those of you listening, we're on priceplow.com, just like it sounds, priceplow, PLOW.com. And they are a data tech mining company. I don't know what, or data mining tech, I don't know. Anyways, they do a lot of reviews on supplements. They give their professional opinion on things. They break it down scientifically. They write up articles on it. But the Glaxon made a protein, and it's called Protos, and they made a vegan and a whey-based protein, which is kind of cool because they use the formula is so close to human milk. And that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to make the most effective blend of protein, micellar casein and whey protein. And they were trying to make it to where it can boost the immune system. So they even put things in there like human milk oligosaccharides. So oligosaccharides, anything that's a saccharide is going to be a type of sugar. So usually lactose and fat are abundant in milk, right? So especially the human milk composition. So that's what gives the breast milk substance, right? So they put these oligosaccharides in there to help with the bacterial flora in our gut. They can help with the reducing infection rate. So it can, basically just helping with the overall immune system. And I'm really a believer that it helps with the gastric lining as well. So like your intestinal lining. Now, what's also cool is that they do put in the blend. I'm trying to find it. They put in this like milk fat globule membrane. It's trademarked NeoShield, and this one that shows background studies that it improves like nootropic effects, and coming out of Japan, I believe. But again, a lot of the nootropic effects that happen in our brain, they do stem from our gut. So if our gut integrity is great, then our mind will be great, is what we are, what we're gathering now with science. So, okay, here goes the casein ratio that Glaxon uses. It's 70% whey protein and 30% casein. And they've included primarily whey protein isolate, which is 90% protein by weight, followed by micellar casein. And then lower down in the label, you can find a dash of casein hydroxylate as well. So for that quick amino burst is what Price Plow just wrote on here. So I think that's really, really cool, because we're trying to get super close to something that's more than just whey protein. We're trying to be less bro, and we're trying to focus on health, because that's where we fail in the industry, is being innovators for something that's going to be beneficial for us in health. And I think that's where we can take a look at our children. So hopefully you're still with me. This is why I focus more on the youth, or the adolescent mind, adolescent health, is because the mistakes that we make then, it really affects later on in life. And I know this because I deal with it, and I deal with it on a daily basis. And I look back on my medical records from whenever I was a kid, and I was like I was like a little guinea pig of medicines. And there are long-term downstream effects that that I went through over at All Children's Hospital here in Florida. And so this is back in like 80s and 90s. So, well, 90s. So like early 90s. But if you look into the data, you look into the effects that certain prescriptions have, or certain dietary lifestyles have with someone that has an autoimmune disorder. Now that we know this is what I assume happened during my childhood. And that's what I'm trying to do, is trying to connect these dots. And we're trying to mitigate the risk of people continually develop autoimmune disorders, or continually to develop some sort of gut issue, because the last thing we need is to be more dependent on prescriptions. The last thing we need is to be more dependent on the treatment side. We can have an opportunity to stick with preventative side, and with the innovation of people like Glaxon that are taking this concept that we've had for a long time. Colostomi's been around for a long time. You might remember in isolatory BioGrow, the absorption rate was just not there. We know it's not there. we have the knowledge and the science to be able to create something that's very compatible. So you'll get a better benefit. So the person, the bodybuilder that's buying the breast milk of that mom, and you're not getting the benefits of the immune system, because those immune boosters from the breast milk are meant for that child. It has a genetic coding to it, and that's what you need to realize. And this is the protein, or these immunoglobulins, and the oligosaccharides that the oligosaccharides that the Glaxon is putting in their protein, and the protein blend, and they're trying to make it so close to human milk. It's going to make your body smarter. So you're making your gut smart. And so that's what we want to do. The same way that a child picks up something off the ground, puts it into their mouth, it makes their gut smart. Their body can respond to that, figure out what it is. There's something that's a viral infection that may happen. And so it creates a defense system, and it creates intelligence in our body. This, we're so close to maybe even becoming resistant, resilient to what is that? E. coli, right? I mean, we have a little bit of E. coli in our body, but E. coli, the cows can't get it, right? They can't get E. coli. So maybe we can even do something like that to where we never even get sick with it. I mean, who knows? Anyways, leaving it there. Pretty cool for that lady making some money off her boob milk. And pretty cool for Glaxon to be able to create something so close to human breast milk. And maybe we'll see some benefits later on of people saying, hey, I'd stop taking this immunosuppressant drug or this immune response drug from my doctor due to increasing my gut bacteria's intelligence. And pretty cool. So like, share, comment, subscribe. I should be saying that at the very beginning of the video. Please share, please subscribe, please comment. Let me know, have you ever tried the protein? Have you ever tried breast milk? Have you bought breast milk? And yeah, that's it. Later.